Hey, welcome back. Today on Cruise Wise Wednesdays, I'm going to talk about how to make your embarkation a little bit smoother during your cruise. And I think we do a lot of these things, so I tend to agree with the article. If you make it smoother, you'll be happier on the first day, and you know, 9 times out of 10 your cruise will go smoothly. If you start off, you know, happy, more than likely, I mean, you'll end up sad, but you will have a good cruise. So let's see. Number 1, fly in a day early. Lesson learned. If you look at some of our other cruise videos, we learned that twice. We had to learn it twice. So the first time was our first time flying into Miami, and the flight was canceled because of the weather and the way that they were doing all these like rebooking and transferring and all this. We wouldn't have gotten there till after the ship left, so we got in the car and drove. There was another one we had to go to Port Canaveral, but we did try to fly in the day before, and because of the weather they canceled, and we end up driving down to Port Canaveral. So whether it's the day before, you know, have a plan, but just try to do it either a day or 2 before so you can enjoy yourself, relax, you know, with all that traveling. Get money in advance. That's whether you are flying in the day before. Just get a little bit of something to carry with you in case something happens, you lose your wallet, purse, you have to do transfers, you know, you have to pay a tip, whatever the case is, you know. And also have change, because if you're driving in and you get a flat tire or your tire's low, you have to, you know, get air from one of those gas stations. They, you know, I think they're kind of like up to like $1.50 now just to get air. Or you can carry the little pump thing like we have now. When we travel, if we travel like past South Carolina, we take our air pump with us, and we also take an emergency roadside kit with us. And this is so if the battery goes dead, if something happens, we have that. We have our air pump, and we have a video on that, and that was a seen on TV product. So just make sure you know, kind of plan for that if you're driving. Plan transfers. That means if you're flying in, make sure you know how you're going to get from the airport to your hotel or to the ship. Just make sure, you know, don't start asking the day before, you know, well, does Carnival have any transfers, or Royal have any transfers from the airport to the ship? Because if you do it the day before, then, you know, they may say no. And like our previous experience, when we went in and we did a transfer from the airport, it was packed. It's like you go into one place and then they have all the ships, and then, you know, another place, and then you get a number and you sit and wait. So just try to plan for that once you get there. Know what time your embarkation is. That's another one where, if I think it was Port Canaveral, and it may be Miami as well, but I know in Miami we had passengers to the front, so there was a line. We went to the side, and there was a long line of people that were waiting to get on. To get into the terminal. When we were in Port Canaveral, we didn't have passengers to the fun, but they had signs up. If your check-in time is such and such, you stay in this line, and if you came after that time, or if you were early, you had to get in a certain line. So we ended up going in, you know, walking straight in Port Canaveral, and you know, check-in was easy there. Different, you know, different ports do different things. Baltimore was different. Charleston is different. You know, they had a check-in time, but you know, everything was moving along that I don't even think they even looked at, you know, they put people in different lines. But Port Canaveral, and they did for sure have 2 separate lines. They were checking in at a certain time, and that's it. And then if you were early or late, you had to go to this other long line. It says be a VIP or buy your way to faster embarkation. If you're not like platinum and up, or suite, then get faster to the fun. It can be, you know, worth it. And Miami is another example where we had faster to the fun, and when we went into the terminal, the ships weren't ready, or whatever the case was. When we were on the Vista, that it's like we all were in this whole big one holding area waiting to get on the ship. You know, it was one big cluster. So just, you know, if you want to try the faster to the fun, and that's, you know, what you want, then go, you know, more than likely, you know, it'll be worth it in the long run. Bring a hat, change your clothes, and a jacket. And that's yes, because some of the terminals can be cold depending on when you leave. You know, it just all depends on which terminal you're leaving from, and if you have to stand outside, it can be hot, you know, so just prepare yourself. Bring a change of clothes, because you want to, you know, like either when you get on the ship, change out of those clothes because you may have been outside sweating in them. So you just want to, you know, freshen up, because the rooms are not going to be ready as soon as you get on the ship. So just be prepared. And sometimes once you get in the terminal, you can go to the bathroom, change your clothes, and, you know, freshen up there too. Prepare for queues, which, you know, that's the same thing. You know, when you go like certain ports, you can go in, they'll tell you to, oh, faster to the fun or platinum, you sit in this, you know, certain section. You know, just be prepared to, like the military, get there early and wait. You know, so there's a lot of things that they have to do in order to get the ship ready. So if you get there and they're not ready, you just don't want to be a grump. You know, just be prepared that that's what you may have to do. You may have to sit there and wait until it's your turn, because everybody's going to get on, but it may be a little bit of wait. Have your documents in order. Do your check-in online, because you can't get in, if you don't have your boarding pass, you know, you can't get into the terminal because they check that. Have your passport, all that stuff ready, just so you're not, you know, holding up the line, digging for things. And that has happened to us. You know, Thomas has put stuff in the backpack and he's digging in the backpack, and, you know, people are looking like, oh my God, why didn't you have it out, you know, in the first place? You know, it was one of those scenarios. So just have everything ready. If you are with someone else, let them carry it, and you carry the luggage or backpacks or whatever the case, so you're not being a grump or being looked at like you're holding up everybody's good time. Know where those documents are. That goes in hand with having them all ready. And we carry our little document holder, which when we get ready to leave, we put our boarding passes on the outside, so those are readily available. And then on the inside, we have like our passports. We keep those in there, and this is a good thing to get. It's we have it bright. I saw it on someone's channel when we first started cruising, and she had a pink one, but I didn't want to get a pink one. So and nothing's wrong with pink, because pink's my favorite color. But I just got this little, you know, bright turquoise one, remind me of cruising. But it has, you know, everything, you know, you can put everything in here. You can put, you know, we've had kids' IDs in here, our our documents in here. We print off our paperwork in case anything happens and it's not in the computer. For, you know, excursions, all of that goes in this document holder. And I think I got it from Wish, so it wasn't that expensive, and it's lasted, you know, this many cruises. And there's even a zipper in on the inside, so if you want to put like some money in there, you can put money in there. And then we also will take, like if we go someplace to a port, we will get a postcard. We'll write how our day is. We'll mail it back to ourselves. Sometimes we don't, but we'll date it and we'll put down how our day was, what we did, and then we just go back and look at it later on to what, you know, just, you know, what we did. Don't try to smuggle contraband on board. And that's a to each his own type thing. You know, people bring alcohol on there that they're not supposed to. Well, we've had a scenario where they had a luggage that somebody in our party had luggage that was a carry-on. They had their alcohol in it, but when they got to the terminal, they said that the bag was too big for carry-on, so they had to check it, and then they got the alcohol taken. Don't know if they got that alcohol back, can't remember. But just if you, like I said, if to each his own. If you want to, you know, smuggle something on board and you get caught, don't make a scene. Just go get your luggage. If they put a note in your bag, just get your luggage wherever it is. If they, because some ships won't deliver it, they'll tell you, you know, you got to come pick it up, or you'll get a little nasty gram in your luggage, or they'll say if your luggage isn't there by a certain time, then it was down by, you know, some holding area. More likely they went through it and got whatever you was trying to smuggle in. Be ready for embark photo. As soon as you get on the ship, well, and when you're at the terminal, they try to get your picture. Just if you don't want one, just say no thank you. You keep on walking, and you don't be nasty about it. Then a lot of times when you get on the ship too, they try to get you at the door, you know, when you're, after you walking through and you get to the atrium, you know, they're standing there again. Just, you know, just be polite and say no. But I think we've taken them on every ship. But, you know, we will be like, no thank you, you know, because we've either been to the port or we've been on that ship before, so we don't need an embark for that particular one. Pack a lightweight carry-on with essentials, and that's a must, you know, because if your luggage don't get there, you don't want to, you know, be all mad. You just want to enjoy your time. You know, that means like have like your medicines. Don't put your medicines in your carry-on and then get upset because it's missing or doesn't, you know, show up to your room till late. Is we've had where we've had notes in our room. People have missed their, you know, they said, well, they checked their luggage when they got to the terminal and it never made it on the ship, or somebody had brought the luggage in their room and then said that, oh, it's not theirs, and didn't turn it in until the end of the cruise. You know, pictures with photos, people have said, well, my luggage was missing and, you know, they didn't know it was theirs. You know, just scenarios like that. Things happen, so be prepared. Don't let that ruin your cruise. Know your cabin number. They give it to you when you first check in. A lot of the times what they'll do now is they won't give you your card, and your card don't have your cab number on it anyway. They will give you a little piece of paper and it'll tell you what your cabin number is, and just kind of like look at your like hub app if you use the hub app, or sometimes the ports will give you like a little map. They'll be at the desk when you check in, grab one of those, find out where your cabin is if you're not familiar with the ship, and you know, just try to find out where it is. Don't go to it if it's not ready to be if it's not ready yet, but just don't forget where your cabin is, because you don't want to be all the way on the back of the ship and your cabin is all the way in the front, and you know, you have to stop everybody. Do you know where such and such is? Avoid the buffet. Well, that's to each his own again. We've gone to the buffet where it wasn't packed, and then there's a lot of times these specialty restaurants are open for lunch. You can go there if you want to, you know, get out the heat and, you know, enjoy a meal, and you don't want to be all cramped, because 9 times out of 10 everybody's going to be having their luggage sitting in the seats, and you know, you don't want to get all grumpy because, you know, somebody's taking up 3 seats with luggage, and you know, you could have went to a specialty restaurant and got some food there. But I wouldn't say avoid the buffet at, you know, because they have a lot of people, they think, well, then I'm gonna go get a guy's burger, you know, so, and they'll think that that's packed, and sometimes it's not. Or go get Blue Iguana. You know, there's a lot of places on the ship where you can eat. Okay, so now that I've rambled on about how to make your embarkation a little bit smoother, is there anything out there that any of you experienced cruisers that you do, that you don't do, that I've named off, that you that made your trip a little bit smoother? If so, put it in the comments. And if there's any first-time cruisers, we're getting ready to go on a cruise, and if there's anything you want us to find out for you, you know, let us know. This is a ship we've been familiar with the ports that we've gone to, so maybe we can get them answered for you, have them when we come back. Then also, we're doing a group cruise in March of 2020, and you have to look in the description for that. We are just hosting, so there is a travel agent that's taking care of everything, so you don't have to give us any money. We're going to have things planned, and this is what Edna's World and some other cruisers, YouTube cruisers, that will be on this cruise as well. So just take a look at the description, come join the Facebook group, and I think that's about it. So happy sailing. Peace.